it's fun for people to feel like, okay, I'm not kind of crazy or just really having a hard time, that I can feel better. Yes, it helps lose weight, but they feel better because their body's working the way that it's supposed to.
So we were able to brainstorm with him and come up with this and build recipes that could help prevent things, stop things, slow things down, whatever we can do to like reverse that aging process so that we don't have to die so young like we are nowadays.
Yeah, totally.
And maybe be more healthier at our best sooner so that when we retire, we actually get to retire and enjoy that time.
And enjoy your life still.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Kiln Conversations, episode 3. Today we're talking with the brilliant minds behind Advanced Mobile IV, the cutting-edge mobile IV therapy company that's redefining wellness. And joining us is the dynamic duo of Ashley Yardley, the CEO, and Holly Hansen, the COO of Advanced Mobile IV. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, we're excited.
Of course. So Advanced Mobile IV, obviously what you guys do is in the name, right? I would love to hear your background prior to starting Advanced Mobile IV. And I'll ask Ashley first.
Yeah. So my background was in home health and hospice, which I loved. And the biggest takes that I took from that was taking care of people at the end of their life for so long and seeing people that are dying younger and probably too soon. And that just started resonating with me and making me think. And then I loved the one-on-one, the mobile, like going to their home as a nurse, you can assess them and be with them and know the true everything to actually do a better job at being their nurse.
Yeah. And because normally when you think of like hospice, you think of a care home, right? Or in the hospital when end of life care, right? And what you're saying is you took the kind of idea of what advanced mobile is. Your previous background was doing that with hospice. That's what you're saying. And so you would go to these people's homes, make them as comfortable as possible, and be their kind of in-home caretaker? Is that
and when you're their hospice nurse, I mean, you're the person that's with them till the end at that point. So you're the kind of everything, which was fun and great. And I got to know all the family. You get to be kind of a social worker, a nurse, and everything all at once. But it's really good because you get to do a better job at caring for them and knowing what they really need because you're in their home and sitting in with them in a personal space where they feel safe.
Yeah. What made you want to do that? Watch people to their end of life.
Right?
It sounds so like depressing.
I know.
But
that's what everybody says. Everybody's like, oh, sad for you. That's such a sad job. And I'm like, oh, it's actually complete opposite.
Okay.
Super rewarding because they're going to die with or without me. So if I can make sure that they're comfortable and happy, that's a win, right?
Oh, totally.
And my grandpa opened a funeral home when I was little. And so my background growing up as a kid was in a funeral home. And my dad was a barber and he would do their hair at night and I would go with him. And so we would like go do dead people's hair. And I would always ask like, how did they die? Like what happened or, things like that. And I hated not knowing what led up to this. Yeah. And so I think a part of that is when I started, as I was in high school, I did my CNA. And then after high school was on the ambulance as an EMT. And I loved that, the trauma and the, rush with that and learning all that I did. But then taking the patients to the hospital and leaving them there, that was hard for me. Yeah. I would want follow-up.
The disconnect. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be like, did they make it? All those things. And so when I found the niche of hospice, I was like, this is my spot because I get to be with them full circle all the way to the end and make sure everything happens the way it should and that they're at their best and the happiest, right? So I made lifelong friends. I have more friends in heaven than probably here on earth.
Oh my gosh. That's true. That's really cool, actually. That's really cool.
My family makes fun of me because I'm in the newspaper all the time, but I'm in the obituary section.
Taking care by Ashley. Yeah. That's funny. Wow. That's pretty crazy. Holly, what about you? What's your background?
Yeah, so mine's a little bit different than Ashley's before we kind of came together. So I got to be a stay-at-home single mom of 5 boys and raise my boys.
5 boys.
And I loved it. As they got older.
Bless your soul. Yeah, 5 boys.
It's the best.
My mom's a boy, 3 boys in my family.
It is the absolute best.
Yeah.
And as they were starting to get older, I thought, I might benefit from doing something for me. So I decided to go to nursing school. And I was doing my preceptorship over COVID and you couldn't get in anywhere to do preceptorship.
Yeah.
Well, Ashley's 2 boys and my 2 youngest boys are best friends and they kind of connected us because she had her home health and hospice business at the time. So I got to do my preceptorship with her doing hospice and then stayed on with her doing that for a while until she made kind of a decision to sell that business. And we thought, well, what should we do now? We put our heads together and opened up Advanced Mobile IV.
Wow, that's crazy. And that's a great segue. So starting Advanced Mobile IV, it goes from your hospice business, selling that off, and was it kind of like, what's next? Was that the thought? And then where did you... It was
already a premeditated plan, I think, a little bit, because being back in the hospice, love it, and I still love it, and would do it all day, every day if I needed to. But I guess COVID was a big eye-opener, and then we're all getting older, right? So it's like, how can we start preventing this? And COVID was a huge eye-opener when everyone was getting sick and dying over a flu.
Right.
So we started researching and looking around. Our doctor is amazing. He's a pharmacist and a doctor. He is very well educated and
very holistic. Yes. So that makes a big difference, makes him unique.
Yeah.
So we were able to brainstorm with him and come up with this and build recipes that could help prevent things, stop things, slow things down, whatever we can do to like reverse that aging process so that we don't have to die so young like we are nowadays.
Yeah, totally.
And maybe be more healthier at our best sooner, so that when we retire, we actually get to retire and enjoy that time.
And enjoy your life still.
Yeah.
Totally.
And over COVID, a lot of people were forced into medical care that maybe they didn't want or wouldn't have chosen.
Uh-huh.
And so it's a big deal to us to advocate for every person to be able to be taken care of the way that they want to be taken care of.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different options out there. And many times, most of us don't even know options exist. So we do a lot of educating on just what's available out there so that the patient can make the best choice for themselves.
Yeah. And you guys only hire registered nurses to take care of your
Correct.
your
we
patients.
hire only nurses. So
Right.
it will always be a nurse that comes to your home or place of work, does an assessment, and then goes ahead and does the IV. But you'll get to have that nurse in your home for an hour or so.
Yeah.
Ask all the questions. They can call the medical director, ask all the questions, even about somebody else in the home that they may be sick or not feeling well, or just things that you're wondering about. So that's a big deal to get that in right there in your home one-on-one.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a medical advice that's right in front of your face. And it's when you see these other IV companies, you'll go in and majority of the time it's a phlebotomist that's the one that's poking you versus
if that.
If that, or someone that's just trained on the job, right? And what's so unique, it seems like, about what you guys have going on is that like second hand that's there to like kind of guide you through what you're going through versus like you show up to a hospital and my wife works at the hospital, like God bless hospital people, right?
Absolutely.
But sometimes you show up and you have no idea what's happening with yourself, not let alone what's going into your body.
Right.
Where from what it sounds like, the packages that you guys create and the people that you hire to do these things can actually answer all these questions, go through each step with you to make sure that you're fully informed on the decision that you're making to bring into your own home.
Which is what nurses are actually trained to do.
Yeah.
And when we're in a hospital setting, insurance dictates everything we do and what we can do. And then that eliminates what we learned and what we know we can do.
Yeah.
So it gives everyone a custom package from us to actually do full circle what we want to do with you and in your family to make you all better. And so it just is more, I don't know, it's more home style, more home-like, and we love what we do. And the nurses
And that's
are
how
really,
it used to be. Back in the day, the doctor came to your house.
Right, right. Yeah.
And we're not against hospitals or anything. There's a place for everything. But the ER is not a place for dehydration or pregnant women that aren't feeling well. Let's utilize that for trauma, for emergent situations like that.
Totally.
How many times have you been in the ER and you're clogged up because of all the things that are happening? But
a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I learned that on the ambulance. I saw all these people calling for constipation or simple issues because they didn't know where else to go.
Right.
So we try to teach people how to advocate for themselves and take care of themselves and all these other sources that are out there to eliminate going to where we all think is the only answer.
Yeah, no, it's such a cool, I think it's such a cool thing that you guys do, because I've gotten IVs before. I've gone to the hospital because I was dehydrated, like stuff like that, where it's like, if I could just have someone come and do this for me, how much simpler would that be? But also the fact that you guys do only hire registered nurses creates that like trust with the person that's sitting across from you versus these other places that you would go and you're like, hey, what can I do to prevent this? Not a lot of times you'll get an answer. And so that's such a unique part, it seems like, of your guys' business, is having every single person, a registered nurse, a doctor on call, so that you can have those real conversations, but not only be able to have those conversations, but also solve your problem at the same time.
Yeah.
That's why we have advanced in our name, because we wanted people to know, like, that was kind of the background on advanced part, because we wanted people to know that we weren't just anybody doing IVs. We were actually
elevated
nurses, and we're the people you're going to go see at the hospital.
Yeah.
So you might as well have us come to your house.
Yeah.
And you get one-on-one. In the hospital, you don't get one-on-one. That nurse has 12 other patients. But when we're with you, you just get us. And so
we do feel like there is a place for all of the IV businesses in town and in every town, right?
Yeah.
We do enough different things and cater to different people. And there's always enough business to go around.
Yeah.
Totally. And
we support each other.
Yeah, we do.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there's plenty of businesses that can do what you guys are doing. It's just that it's that one-on-one approach that seems like what really sets you guys apart.
Yes.
But also I kind of want to learn a little bit about the services that you guys do offer, because I've heard all types of different like formulas that you can do and different kinds of packages that you can promote, but also like weight loss and these other things. I would love to hear more about kind of all the spectrum of what you guys can cover.
We had a coach just tell us that before we got here.
Yeah.
You guys do so much more than just IV.
And it's true. We really focus on proactive health along with reactive health.
Okay.
So reactive is like when you're already sick. Proactive would be before that, just getting your health better, you know, being in a good state. So that we have a really broad menu that way. Everything is customized that we do. So a nurse will never come out to your home with a bag that's already pre-mixed with things.
Right.
So they bring all the ingredients, talk through things, and really customize all of them. Even when we have, say, like a hangover IV.
Yeah.
You know, we have typical medications or vitamins that go in that bag, but it is customized literally when the nurse gets there. So it's fresh, it's, you know, for that person.
Yeah.
And we don't expect the patient to know all the answers, right?
No.
They're not medical usually. So it's more of like a marketing thing on the website front end. But at the back end, when the nurse shows up, we're going to customize and do what we can for you. We're not just going to, because you bought that, that's what you're getting. We very much customize and make it what it should be, because not everybody knows. And sometimes we get a lot of those calls where I don't know what to book. So we built the custom IV so that you can pick the custom and we come out and we help you with it. Even though that's what we treat, how we treat all IVs.
Yeah.
Really, the custom IV is what a lot of people end up picking because they're not sure what to get.
Oh, totally. Yeah. You can look at a menu and think that you need vitamin C, or it's like, oh, I feel a little bit ill right now. But and then you go and you start discussing what's actually happening with you. Your nurse there can actually like customize your package to what you're feeling versus like, I'm just booking this one. It's probably not going to do anything because I don't know anything about it. I don't know what I need, but I'm booking this one and basically wasting time and money on.
Right. We would never let that happen because we want you to feel good and all taken care of when you leave, regardless of what you booked.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. Another thing that's really fun for our nurses is in nursing school, you don't learn about vitamins because insurance doesn't pay for it, right? So, you know, when we hire nurses, they, even if they've been a nurse for 20 years, they're a fabulous nurse. They're a fabulous IV nurse. Vitamins are new to them in this aspect. So they get to have another level of education, and we require that, right? Because that's what we use. So then it kind of brings all the pieces together for the nurse in being able to use medications like they're used to at the hospitals, and the vitamins. So
they always think
really
it's
fun.
New, that it just came out. And it's like, actually, no. They've been
Vitamins have been around for a while.
Forever.
Yeah.
And peptides. All these things have been here. We just didn't know how to access them. So once you figure that out and you know how to use them and utilize them to your benefit, it's huge.
Oh, totally. What would you say your most popular booking is?
Right now, it's definitely like our immunity IV.
With what's going around.
Everyone has been hit with the flu really hard this year, multiple times.
Yeah.
And so that one right now is definitely the biggest one. Yeah.
So have you seen a shift health has become such a huge thing post-COVID, right? Where it's like everybody's trying to take care of themselves as best they can. And a big part of that has been seeing the weight loss side of your health. And you have these drugs like Ozempic and these other weight loss drugs, I know that you guys also do stuff like that. Have you seen a big shift over the last couple of years into that sector?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because people know about it now.
Yeah.
So, and, we use peptides a lot, and semaglutide and tirzepatide are peptides. Your body makes peptides rather than putting a medication into your body. So there's been a big upswing there, and it's fun for people to feel like, okay, I'm not kind of crazy or just really having a hard time, that I can feel better. Yes, it helps lose weight, but they feel better because their body's working the way that it's supposed to.
And it was meant to prevent diabetes. Yeah. So all the diabetic patients are living better and longer with less problems because they don't have to be on as much insulin or as much Lantus.
Totally.
And those things are huge because your insurance only gives you so much a month anyway. So people would ration it and sometimes not take enough insulin because they couldn't afford to buy more cash pay because their insurance only gives them so many pens a month. That's what we were dealing with my niece. And we would go to the Indian village or the reservation. And we would buy cash pay from them because it was cheaper to get more insulin for her during the month. But now that we have semaglutide, her pancreas is actually working.
Wow.
Because that's a panicky way to live also, right? Yeah. If you are always nervous that, am I going to run out of insulin? Well, that's going to affect your health very poorly also. So then you've got compounded issues on top of that. So this takes that away.
Yeah.
Every peptide we've used has done more than what it's supposed to in a benefit to somebody.
That's incredible.
Semaglutide's reducing inflammation, perfusion, better heart flow, better blood, everything. And less inflammation all the way around to edema even. So even though we're not treating those things with it, it's showing full circle benefits.
That's incredible. It's so cool, all the things that you guys are able to curate specifically for people, and it's such a different style and different thought process that goes into that, where it's like I've always felt this way. I've always felt like not great, or I'm making it through today. It's you guys are giving an option to really make people start living their peak health, if that makes sense. But
absolutely, and just feel good. Feel good inside, but also about themselves.
Totally.
We're made up of habits, right? So we come up with bad habits as we get older and stuff. So peptides help reverse those and create new habits. As we create new habits, we create more life.
Right.
So I just feel like the longevity of everything is better when we create those new habits after we've maybe chose some bad ones for a while.
No, seriously. I totally agree. I would love to kind of get into the back end of what, like the business side of what you guys are doing. First off, when did Advanced Mobile IV start?
So we opened, our first IV was January of 21, right? So we are
about
just
4 years in.
Over 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And so just prior to that, we were just all day long, all night long, trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
We're very self-taught.
Yeah. Take me through that process. Like, I would love to hear kind of like how you guys.
The front bedroom of my house.
Okay. It's still our office.
It is, but it's upgraded. It's nicer.
Yeah.
One of the first things we did was make a whole wall, a big whiteboard.
Okay.
And we utilize that every day.
Yeah.
It's and like so our brain dumps out.
You just dump it all there.
Try to stay organized that way. And we both have desks in there. So it's our kind of little spot. But I only live a couple blocks from Ashley. And so it makes it nice because our kids can come right there. Right. We feel like even though I'm not at home, it's like my second home.
Yeah.
It's not venturing out down into town and stuff. So we really like that part. And we work better when we're physically together. We just learned that about each other. We play off of each other really well. So
that's what you need in a good business partner.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We get lots more done when she knows what I'm working on. I know what she's working on because we can support.
Yeah. And we just kind of tag team a little bit and think through things out loud. And so it works really well for us. We started out really kind of thinking that we would just be in St. George doing IVs.
Okay. Yeah.
And that quickly changed.
Yeah.
4 months.
I was searching your guys' website and I had to scroll forever through all the locations to find St. George.
It's so exciting and it makes it so fun. All the different aspects are so fun of business. We're doing things that were not on our radar at all 4 years ago. And so it's cool to pull that all together. But we franchised out because we had a couple of very random nurses, one in North Carolina, one in Denver. We don't even know how they found us. They wanted to work for us. So we thought, okay, well, let's try this out. We sent them product, everything. We just weren't set up to support them the best way.
Marketing and stuff.
Yeah. And so we decided, well, okay, I guess let's franchise out. And we put an ad on
it was like Indeed or something.
And we had, within like 10 or 12 hours, we had over 300 applications.
We had to turn it off.
Oh my gosh.
We had to turn it off.
Yeah, you're just getting constant emails. Yeah.
It was one evening till the next morning.
Wow.
And they had to fill out a form that was pretty detailed about them and their background. So the fact that people took the time to do all that.
You could tell the interest was there.
Yeah, the interest was there.
Yeah.
So then we knew that this was bigger than we thought.
Yeah.
And it was more needed everywhere, not just here.
Yeah. And when you say...
people had the same train of thought that we did.
Right.
You know?
And when you say franchise, you're having nurses buy into the brand, or...
You don't have to be a nurse. So there's a few different people that have bought into our companies, like business investors, nurses, or just someone who wants to own their own business. And it's their first business.
We thought that nurses would be the best owner of franchises.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, because they are nurse-minded rather than business-minded.
Right. Us nurses, we give a lot away.
No, I know that.
That's our downfall.
Yeah.
So our people that are investors or business entrepreneurs and business-minded, they do really well.
Yeah.
Because they're going to hire the nurses
right.
anyway, right? So,
but not that all locations aren't doing well. They all are.
They
just
are.
can see which ones are more profitable than the others. And so, and you have to be a certain kind of nurse, right? Like it's 100%. Not just being a nurse. It's being like an entrepreneur. It's thinking outside the box. It's always
driven that way.
Problem solving and not thinking someone else is going to solve it for you.
And you really have to have somewhat of a sales background too, because you're selling yourself once you step into this person's home. And
and that part was scary for me. I come from a family of entrepreneurs, and when I hear of like sales or marketing, I'm like, that is not me.
Yeah.
Same.
But then quickly I realized that all it is talking about what you enjoy, what you're passionate about. We could talk about that forever because we have that passion, right? So it overflows into the marketing and the sales.
Totally. And majority of sales is you have a product that is going to solve somebody else's problem.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's when you have a good product and you have a good problem that needs to be solved, it's really easy to sell.
And we're selling relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want to make the relationship with the patient. First of all, we want to make the relationship with our franchises and the nurses. And then those nurses build the relationships with the patients. So it's a trickle-down effect. But it's all about relationships.
Absolutely.
And the trust in the nurse that she brings to the table is huge. Because I saw that being a hospice nurse. When I would go out of town and put another nurse in charge for a week, they would be like, no, we'll just wait. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no. Like you need someone
like you
to
need
check
it,
on you.
but
yeah, you need. But it's just that trust, right? Yeah. It's not that other person wasn't good enough. It's just like that trust was already established. So we really wanted to give that back to patients and that continuity of care because nurses also love their patients.
Right.
There also is that. That's my patient.
Because they form that bond with them as well. Yeah.
Yes. And so we get protective of that. And so our next thing that we jumped into after franchising was building our own software and our own EMR and owning our own self completely.
Yeah.
We had plugins, we had websites, we had all these tech people helping us, and it was so much and they were so far out and it took so long to get a website turned on that it was holding us up.
Okay.
So we pivoted and we found an amazing engineer that is too good to be true. And he built us the best software and he's still on staff with us and helps us and we're still evolving it every day with what we grow and how we grow. And
it's great because we had envisioned something, and we envisioned things pretty similar, and we were able to express that to him to build because he doesn't know anything about nursing or what we're doing. He's the engineer, right? So we work as a team really well that way.
Yeah, and what our biggest component in it that we love is that the patient can pick their nurse if they already have their nurse, right? So a nurse goes out to a patient and they book another IV, they're going to want their same nurse.
Totally.
And so they have that option to do that. And then that nurse also gets that continuity of care too. They get that back so that, so it's just nice.
Yeah. And you're building a book of business too for your nurses, right? And it just creates more buy-in to your company because it's like selling insurance.
Yes.
Like you work for a company, but you're building your own book.
Yes.
Right. And I think that's such a cool part of what you guys do is be able to create those relationships for not only your clients, but your nurses as well. And obviously like being under your umbrella is important because you're obviously where things are getting booked through. You're the marketing, you're the, face of what you're doing. But then these nurses get to kind of contract slightly.
They're contracted in place.
Contracted,
and they get to build their own clientele. There's sometimes bookings come in and a nurse is already there and they have set up and sold a subscription to somebody because they wanted to they were out selling themselves.
Yeah. It's such a unique business model. And it makes sense that you're able to franchise so quickly through this. How many locations do you guys have right now?
Around 25. And then 25. We have 6 or 8 in the works right now. Yeah.
Wow. And majority West Coast or?
It's funny.
All over.
All over.
But at the beginning, it was all out west. Like
through Utah.
Through Utah, and then it would go all the way to Florida and
Nevada,
Georgia. Like it's random.
Very random.
And it's just anybody can contact you and say, hey, we want to franchise with you.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
And then we do like interview process. We get to know each other, make sure we're all a good fit together, right? Before we even get into anything else.
Right.
And then we go down the road of doing that. And it's not hard or too long to start this. It's like maybe 60 days. And so we have everything turnkey. And we also built another side of the company that's distribution. So we supply all the products for all our franchises. Yeah. We do all the negotiating with the manufacturers, the allocation. We make sure everyone has their supplies that they need across the board. Otherwise, we're going to be unsuccessful if there's another pandemic.
Sure. Yeah.
So we're set up for another pandemic if that happens so that we have everything we need. And we wanted to make sure the franchises felt secure with that. So we built a distribution side of the company and they just get on their website and order their products straight through us.
Wow.
Our website is built so that everything is in the one website. We have distribution. We have a franchise portal, a nurse portal, corporate portal, doctor's portal, and they all speak together. So that's really beneficial when it comes to tying, your whole business together, tying franchises together. The franchises don't have to go outside and find a booking system. Yeah. It's already built in. They don't have to find all these different components because we've built it in. And that'll be an ever-growing thing, the website.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And so that's why we have, him on staff. And if there's a glitch or a hang-up or something of some kind, it can be fixed just like that.
No, that's incredible. So. And I was telling my wife the same thing. It blows my mind like how actually massive this company is going to get to. And it's started here in St. George, Utah, which is just so crazy to think about. And please correct me if I'm wrong. You guys till this point are completely mobile. Don't have a brick and mortar location.
Correct. Right. Advanced mobile IV.
Advanced mobile IV. Right.
Right.
Right now we're sitting in Kiln, St. George.
Right.
Yep.
And this would be your guys' first on-site location. Is that correct?
Yes.
What vision do you see being a part of a place like Kiln? And obviously Kiln we're the 17th Kiln location, more and more coming online. Yeah. Where do you see you guys benefiting from being in a space like Kiln?
I think it's a huge opportunity to work with all the businesses in here. A lot of time, businesses and people that are mindset like us that own their business, they don't really take care of themselves and their health as much. So it's kind of us being able to come take care of other people that are like us.
Yeah.
And come to them.
Yeah. And it really is super beneficial to have your hydration and your vitamins and make yourself more successful. And so
totally. Yeah.
We really want to... And I also think it's a good opportunity to be mobile, but this is a little different than like just a brick and mortar, right? This is more, I feel like we're in a group of people. We're a part of a whole family.
It's a community.
There's a lot of aspects of the Kiln that we just love. We can take care of the people here inside, right?
Right.
That have their businesses. We get people coming through town often that say, hey, I'm literally driving through town. Is there somewhere we can meet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Come to our office.
At the Kiln.
Yeah.
And so we're set up and have a chair here, have nurse product and everything. And we'll have a nurse on site. Or if someone's not here, like that full day or something, we can run over really easily because our nurses are used to going to them.
Right.
But that way we've got a great place set up. And it's not going to just like one of our homes or fitting them in. I mean, we've done IVs.
In a parking lot, yeah.
I was going to say all over. And it sounds really weird at parks in a parking lot. But we do a lot of events also. Right. So if there's a race, of course we're going to be in a park. There's nothing different than if someone's driving through town, stop at a park, let their kids get out and play. while they have an IV
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, totally.
Done by the pool, dugouts. I mean, you name it, we've been everywhere.
Oh, I can only imagine. Yeah. And you say dugout. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. But being here gives us that one more piece of stable, and it's going to spread both of our names. Where you guys have a lot of locations, we have a lot of locations.
Right.
And that'll be really beneficial.
So big part of that is that we're hoping the rest of our franchises can, again, partner with you how we have. So we can set up a bigger network together and help each other and support each other. So that's kind of the end goal.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's obviously that's why we're here. That's why we're doing this. And I think it's such a huge benefit, not only to it's a huge benefit for our members to be able to see you here, but also be able to have this as kind of a perk of being a part of Kiln, but also being able to market Advanced Mobile IV to all of our members. I think it's such a huge part because I think we're at over 10,000 members in Kiln, and anybody can go onto our app, see Advanced Mobile IV, see what you guys are doing, and be able to just book from there.
Yes.
Right.
And these are all these locations that you guys are already in.
And how many times do we go to work and we don't feel good?
I do it almost every day. Yeah, no.
And a lot of parents, they don't feel good, so they leave home because it's a little noisier or they don't get quiet time to almost try to feel better. But they go and they're miserable, trying to work and everything. So now we can take care of you.
But you got a headache and you still need to work, we can solve that problem.
Yep.
Totally. I'm going to have to use you guys quite a bit. Yeah. That's so exciting. And I think it's such a huge part of having you guys, the location that you guys are in Kiln here, where everybody has to walk by your location.
Yeah.
Everybody has to walk by your office to get to their office. And so seeing the pricing, seeing things up, seeing the chair in the office, it's going to be I think it's going to be used a lot. And
it's a way for us to educate more people.
That's what I was just going to say. Just educating that we're out there.
Absolutely.
And there's choices and there's other things that you can utilize that people just don't know about.
Yeah.
Totally. I'd like to ask this question. 10 years from now, where do you see Advanced Mobile IV?
It's exciting to think about.
Yeah. And it could
really,
be as crazy as we want.
Well, you might not want to hear. When we started, we kind of thought okay, we're going to build this, and about 5 years in, we'll very possibly sell it and then go to our next thing. Well, we're 4 years in.
Yeah,
and
we're a year away from that.
We're only have done this much of all of this that we want to do.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting to think of all the different possibilities. And
and why stop doing something we love?
Yeah.
Why?
Then it's not work, right?
No.
It doesn't feel like work.
We never shut our brains off. We're all, we'll have nurses call us late at night. I'm so sorry, or text us. We're like, please call us.
I was already up, actually,
Because then that means we're taking care of more people.
Right.
We really just want to, when it comes down to it, we want to take care of people the way that they want to be taken care of.
And that is something that sets us apart from other companies is we're our patient within 2 hours. So people can get seen same day.
Yeah.
People can even get seen at night. Our nurses, some of them are night nurses. We don't mind going out at night because they're used to that. So nurses are used to working holidays, weekends. We're all used to that.
You're
so
right.
we don't close. We don't stop.
No, it's 24/7 business for sure.
Just like sickness doesn't stop.
Exactly. That's right.
So looking on the horizon, though, we want to just continue to expand because it's also neat for us to see the personal growth of each of our franchises and why they want to be a part of it. And then to see them become successful, that's really exciting for us. We want to support that. And we have a lot of other aspects that we want to add on. We are now adding or have added peptides. That's a big thing. And we don't ever want to not have that. We are an IV business. Yes, that will always be our base.
But some peptides are IV too.
Yep.
So we do those in IVs. So it's a win-win for us. And that's how we can keep growing, keep evolving. But we'll always have the base of the nutrition of just how the makeup of what we are. We're made up of vitamins.
Right.
So that makeup will never go away. And our food isn't going to sustain us for what we eat. So we have plenty of business to go around.
Oh, totally.
Adding all the other things in.
Absolutely.
But we're working on our nonprofit as well. Because how can you have this huge team of nurses across the nation and not all of us don't want to go do a medical mission, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. What is a medical mission?
It's when you go to another country and you set up a whole camp of medical professional people and you solve that country's problem.
Take care of people.
Wow.
Like cleft palates or wounds or whatever it is. We're coming for 7 days and we're going to treat as many people as we can and pop up a tent and fix as many problems as we can.
That's cool. Yeah.
Nurses thrive off that. So do doctors and dentists and all medical people. And so we really why would we have this huge team of people and not go do something like that?
Yeah.
So we want to build that foundation so that we can give back and do those things. Plus also we want to be able to build a program that helps cancer patients or long-term illness patients that can't maybe afford it. So when you're going through cancer or things like that, it's very pricey and we don't want financially people to be restricted from taking care of themselves. So
we have a lot of those patients already. And so we see the need for our nonprofit in that aspect.
Kind of like a sponsorship program.
Yeah. Okay. And then we work with a lot of other companies too, and businesses like Utah Prep, right? Mm-hmm. So we're now learning that partnership with them is going to be so huge because we can educate them at a younger age. So if we can educate you at a younger age to take care of your body, you can play longer and last longer and not have the side effects or the back problems that come with utilizing your body that hard for that long.
So then they can actually enjoy what they're doing.
Yeah.
Or when they retire, right? All the football players having seizure disorders later in life, NAD will help that hugely. So being able to educate that at a younger age has been super beneficial because you can tell the ones that really get it and they thrive off it and they realize it. And it's so exciting to see that because then they're going to be healthy longer. And so,
they know that they want to make it big in sports and they want to do everything for their body that's going to help get them there. They've got to continue to do all the work, but there's so many different resources. So why not utilize those? So it's fun to see them soak it all up.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine.
We meet professional athletes, and sometimes we're like, "Oh, dang it, we would have done this for the last 2 years. Prevented this." So
they're like, "I wish I would have known." We're like, "Well, we're telling you
now."
You
know. It might be too late for you,
with these high schools and prep schools that it makes it a lot easier to start educating that sooner. And then we do NILs with them, and we're going to follow them through college. So all our locations will take that person if they're in their area. And they'll continue their NIL with them. So
that's really cool.
It's fun.
That's such a different. Yeah, I can go down hours of rabbit hole of sports industry and injuries where, that was my background is mostly sports. And so I'm in that same boat where I'm like, man, I wish I would have known this 7 years ago and been able to take care of myself a little bit better. And who knows what would have happened, And so that's super, super exciting. And I just want to thank you guys for coming on. It's been such a pleasure to get to know you guys over the last couple months. And I really look forward to having you guys in Kiln and seeing what we can build together.
We're excited and we're very thankful you invited us here.
Oh, awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for a great chat.
Yep. Thank you.